All right, Vishal, thanks a lot for that. We have Amrish Baliga and Mayuresh Joshi also joining in this conversation. So Sachin Sukhani, of course, is still with us. Amrish, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So what is the current phase for the market? A bit of bubble in mid caps, small caps, euphoria, or just undervalued stocks being picked? And what's the current risk reward ratio for you?
I think it's a mix of all that.
Okay.
I mean, you still have value in certain pockets. At the same time, there are a number of mid caps which have become overvalued, possibly what you can call a bubble. Again, because a lot of funds are flowing into the mutual funds through SIPs and other route. I think retail investors were the largest investors in I think June, with nearly 14,000 crores flowing in. So now the fund managers really can't sit on cash; they need to invest. So I think a decent amount of that is flowing to mid caps, where some sort of a bubble is, I think, building up. At the same time, we are seeing that the market is unable to go beyond that 8,600 levels. Today also, I think it was a false breakout. I think Sudarshan should be able to talk about that better. So I think the upside for the market seems capped, because whatever said and done, macros, nothing is improving really. On the parliament side, there's a clear logjam. GST will get deferred.
Yeah.
Land bill is getting deferred to winter.
So you're bearish right now on the market?
I'm cautious. You really can't be bearish on the markets, because overall I think longer term still seems bullish. Decent amount of money flows, so you really can't be bearish. But I think looking at the valuations at this point of time, one needs to be a bit cautious.
Right, those are some numbers coming in. That's Jain Irrigation's numbers. The standalone total income has come in at 1092 crores. This is versus about 1113 crores same time last year. So there's a decent income growth that they've seen, and the income is in line with slightly higher than the CNBC TV18 poll as well. On the profit front, also it's just a marginal growth, 20.4 crores profit versus 16 crores that they did same time last year, and versus a 16 crore poll that we had. So the profits and the top line are slightly higher than estimated and slightly higher than what they did same time last year. The EBITDA as well has come in at 175 crores, which is slightly higher than estimated. Just looking at the key segments that they have, the agri-input segment has seen a good up move in terms of revenues. So 738 crore revenues versus 699 crores. That's on the standalone side. And the agri-input EBIT also has grown to 127 crores versus 99 crores. So as you can see, the stock is playing for a bit of recovery now, right now. It's moved a tad bit into the green. Do you track this name, Amrish?
Yeah, in fact, I've been decently bullish on Jain Irrigation for a while. In fact, I was picking it up at levels of 64, 65. So even at these levels, I mean, again, looking at the results, although I've not really seen it in detail, just come in. So I think top line, bottom line seems better than expected.
Okay, Mayuresh, good afternoon. Are you tracking this Chennai Petrol and the kind of move that it's made today? Because we had MRPL yesterday, that's down 11%, while Chennai Petrol is up 14%.
Afternoon, clearly I think a stupendous move by the stocks, and it's more to do with the kind of operational performance that has come through. It did disappoint analysts on counts like how the GRMs had panned out, but clearly I think the performance has been stupendous. Unfortunately, I think I don't track the stocks, so very difficult to give a target price.
Okay, Amrish, for those of us who have been talking about these stocks for long, there used to be Bongaigaon refinery and of course Kochi refinery as well. Those are gone now, but this is the only one that stands at current price. Do you have a call on this?
No, I mean, I really don't have a call on this, but I have a call on the broader OMCs, where again, I've been saying now for a while that I think whatever had to be priced in has got priced in. There are no major surprises, except for the oil prices continuing to go down, and along with that the retail prices will go down. So I don't think even on the margin front there'll be a major surprise from here on. Whatever surprises we have seen in the last 12 to 18 months is already there in the price. Most of them have become multi-baggers.
Okay, well, just some more details on Jain Irrigation. Now the stock is actually picking up some pace. So pull up the intraday chart. It's almost a 2% gain that you're seeing. We were telling you about how the agri-input products division has seen about a 5.5% growth in its top line. So that's looking good. But even the other segment, the industrial product segment, has done quite well. It's a 14% growth that the industrial product segment has seen in the top line at about close to 340 crores versus 297 crores same time last year. And that segment has also seen an improvement in EBITDA EBITDA. It's come in at 49 crores versus 47 crores. So the standalone EBITDA margin is also higher than expectation. And all this, by the way, is including a forex loss of 11 odd crores. So these are good numbers coming in from Jain Irrigation. Mayuresh, if I remember correctly, you track this stock as well. What would your recommendation be after seeing the numbers?
So clearly, Sonia, I think the EBITDA has been a surprise in terms of how the margins have panned out. Apart from that, I think the numbers were more or less in line with what the street was expecting. Clearly, as a theme, I think the kind of underpenetration that the MIS business has, which Jain Irrigation dominates in the country, I think there's a huge potential and a huge way to go there. And clearly, I think if you look at the kind of receivables that Jain Irrigation is expected to get down over the next few quarters, that will provide and fuel cash flows going forward as well. So I think the net debt to equity languishes currently at around 1.6, 1.7 times. The management expects to bring it down to 1.1, 1.2 times. And if they're successful in doing that, I think you will see some amount of re-rating happening in terms of how the earnings pan out. Again, I think what happens with their food business, specifically on the food processing part, there was expectations of some announcements to be made if they are able to successfully do some part of a stake sale in the next few quarters. That will also help them to get their debt down. So in my opinion, I think the EBITDA margins have surprised, so I think further up move from the current levels is not ruled out.
Okay, those are e-clerks numbers as well. Net profit of 73 crore versus 53 crore, but that's year on year. So we'll wait for QOQ as well, but that's e-clerks. Total income 298 crore versus 217 crore. Sudarshan, a word on some of these index stocks. ONGC, Mahindra and Mahindra and Tata Motors, three big losers today. Is any of them a short call right now, or would you avoid that?
No, Tata Motors is a short call. That rally was a bear market rally. It's not the real thing. And in case of ONGC, ONGC has already been beaten down. We had a big up day. You don't know whether this is the beginning of a small base building exercise. We don't know. M&M probably will become a short if the Nifty decides to go below 8500. But even before that, Tata Motors could be easily sold into.
Alright, let's go across to Varinder now. He joins in with some buzzing stocks, and of course I'm sure the list would have changed in the last 10 minutes.
Well, clearly, there are many stocks which are coming off days high. Look at Salza Electronics. That stock has been buzzing since last few days, but now off nearly 11% from days high. GHCL, that stock has been very active, has fallen now nearly 8-10% from days high. Most of these Adani, group stocks, Adani Transmission, Adani Power, Adani Enterprise also are coming off from days high. Look at Rico Auto, that is off nearly 7% from days high. HCL Insys, is the ditto case. JP Associates, MRPL, they have been weak since morning. RCF is also down nearly 7% from days high. KSRM is an interesting stock. That stock was up 20% on Friday, now slipping from days high, down nearly 7% from that level. Chambal Fertilizers, Punj Lloyd, JK Tyre, Suzlon, most of them have come off, from days high. Some of the stocks which are gaining still, keep an eye on JSPL. There's an important case tomorrow for Gare Parma. That stock was holding up. IBREL and Inox Leisure were other stocks. In terms of result impact, you mentioned about Chennai Petrol. Other stocks like Chambal Fertilizers, PTC India, Vardhman Politics, Ratnamani Metals. Also keep an eye on Manpasand Beverages. That company announces the results tomorrow. The stock last time I checked was up 10%. Among the small cap gainers, a lot big stock, Link, ABC India, Interlink Petroleum, Mukta Arts, Indo National is one stock which is buzzing. Last time I checked was up 20%. Future Market Networks, Water-Based, Tenwala Chemicals, Associated Alcohol, Tips Industries, Subex is up 20%. Good volumes today. Ramco Industries, Rane Madras, Piramil, Phytocare up 10%. Baskin Engineering up 10%. Among the losers, all the stocks, companies which reported very bad set of numbers. Munjal Auto, SMS Pharma, PPAP Auto, MRPL, Shakti Pumps, InSwift Labs, Phoenix Lamps, all are moving down today.
Okay, Varinder, you never fail to entertain us with your list of stocks. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, those are the big buzzers in trade. But those are Finolex Cables numbers, by the way. It's okay. It's a decent, just a minor growth in profits is what they've seen to 48 crores versus about 37 crores earlier. And income too, it's just a marginal up move that they've seen. But at least there's no degrowth, and that's perhaps a relief that you're seeing. 2 more minutes for the markets to close for the day. Ambrish, Varinder was mentioning Chambal Fertilizers. That one actually reported a very good set of numbers this quarter. Would you be interested in that name?
I mean, it's already moved up. I mean, if you see, it's already moved up nearly 10-12%. It can possibly move up another 5-6% because of these results. But then, I mean, as always, there's not much of an interest in fertilizers across the market. So I think after this move in the next 2 or 3 days, I think it'll just settle down again at 64-65 levels.
All right, just about a minute left for markets to close. So let's just do a quick recap. It's a bad day for the market, not just because the Nifty is down 57 points. That could be par for course, really. It's a bad day because it could well be, maybe I speak too soon, but it could well be a bit of a trend reversal day, because the Nifty for the second or third time has gone above 8600, has not been able to close the deal, and is actually closing a good 100 points. Yes, a good 100 points below where it was, say, at 3 p.m. So not a good sign. Let's talk about the stocks that led the market down. Reliance was the biggest drag on the market, actually 2% lower on that, and in fact that's corrected quite a bit from its recent highs. Again, the stock has corrected 10% in a flash from 1060 thereabouts, now down to 966. So that's the stock which has clearly dragged the markets today. Tata Motors is the second biggest drag, 2.5% lower on Tata Motors. Then of course you have ONGC, that's down about 3%. NTPC, Coal India as well, after repeatedly making lifetime highs for last 2 days, the correction in Coal India has been brutal. In fact, 9% gone off the highs, again in a matter of few trading sessions. So that's something to watch out for. ITC as well has dragged the market quite a bit today. There goes the bell. The Nifty would end at the low point of the day. And then of course on the gaining side, couple of stocks that really stand out. Maruti is again defying gravity, 4500 now on that stock. So another lifetime high on Maruti. And TCS was the other stock that was up about 1%, and really the mystery stock, as a lot of people would say, BHEL, after reporting what looked like an ugly set of numbers, the stock is now up about 2%. But fair bit of reversal in the mid caps as well, Sonia.
Oh yes, it was quite a dull day actually. A lot of mid-cap stocks are selling off today. So let's take you through that list. MRPL was your biggest loser, down about 11%, wiped out all of its gains that it saw on Friday. Tata Tele as well, down 8%. The JP Group continues to get bashed in trade. So now JP Associates is just 11 rupees and JP Power is just 7 rupees. So that's a big damage that we've seen there. Adani Power down 2.5%. Suzlon down 2%. So the list of stocks that have fallen today are all the highly leveraged infrastructure companies, etc. You also have names like HDIL ahead of their numbers that are down almost about 2% or so. But on the upside, you had Chennai Petrol that reported good numbers, and that stock, of course, is up 15%. Chambal Fertilizers as well, good set of numbers, so that stock too has moved up higher. So let's do one thing. Let's thank our guests and focus on Chennai Petrol. B. Ashok, the chairman of the Indian Oil Group Companies, joins us now to talk about Chennai Petrol's earnings this time around. Mr. Ashok, it's been a very good set of numbers that the company has reported. Just take us through the quarter and what the expectation is as far as margins are concerned going ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Basically, Chennai Petrol has done extremely well during the quarter, essentially because the physical performance has been extremely good. The throughput has been almost high for quite a while now. It's been the best, 2.843 million tons, whereas the previous best was 2.841 million tons, which was in the fourth quarter of 10-11. Last year it was 2.819 million tons for the year last year same quarter. It's also the distillate yield has been extremely good. It's 74.3% against a previous best of 71.9%, which was achieved in quarter 4 of 13-14, and last year same period was only 70.2%. Of course, there has been a dip in the turnover, naturally because of the fall in crude prices and finished products. But the profit has been 924 crore in the current quarter compared to a loss of 193 crore in the previous period, and mainly because of extremely good GRM of $10.09 per barrel as compared to $1.88 per barrel in the previous year.
Okay, Mr. Ashok.
So this really translates to a GRM increase of almost 1,110 crore.
Okay, Mr. Ashok, good afternoon. You know, I actually want to quiz you on that GRM front. This $10 GRM, how did you manage to achieve that? I think it's the best in the industry, and is that sustainable?
Let me say that GRM performance has been exceptionally good because of three main reasons. One, of course, the good operational performance, which I explained to you earlier. Of course, there has also been a gain on crude because of the inventory gains of about 404 crore out of the 1110 crore. There has been a lower impact on fuel and loss. Because of the lower prices of fuel for the refinery. So this impact has been almost 408 crore. And of course, the higher distillate yield of 74.3% as compared to 70.2% last year. So these three factors combined with the general improvement in operations have helped in maintaining a very high GRM. The second part of your question, whether this sort of a GRM is sustainable, the answer is in terms of operational performance, we certainly do hope that we will be able to sustain the operational performance. But things which have happened, beyond the environment of the organization, which is on global prices, etc., we'll have to hope for the best.
Okay, now, the question that the market always wants to know, what is happening to the merger between IOC and Chennai Petrol? And considering that you'll be putting in another 1,000 crore, or, since you're chairman of IOC as well, and IOC will be putting in another 1,000 crore in Chennai Petrol, if you could tell us what would be IOC's stake in Chennai Petrol? And secondly, is the merger plan still on between IOC and Chennai Petrol?
See, at the moment we are not considering any merger plans. What we are doing is, because of the losses suffered by Chennai Petrol during the year 12-13, 13-14 and also 14-15, marginal losses, the net worth has been eroded of the company by more than 50%, which thanks to the good performance during the current year, the net worth has substantially improved to 2,519 crore. While there was a problem cropping up, but because of the good performance, the net worth has improved. The second thing which has happened is, IOC is issuing a preference capital of 1,000 crore, which is not going to increase or make any difference to the equity holding, because it is a repayable capital which we are giving over a 10-year term. And this we think will help CPCL in terms of reducing their debt, and they can also focus on some of the projects which are very crucial to the future of CPCL.
So as of now, because earlier there were reports, and as of now, since we had earlier Bongaigaon and Kochi refineries which were merged with their parent companies, as of now there's no plan for something like this with Chennai Petrol and IOC.
No, as of now there is no plan.
Okay. You did mention just a while back that you would use some of the funds to reduce debt for Chennai Petrol. What does the debt exactly stand at this point in time, and how much would you be able to bring down your interest costs in the quarters to come?
See, overall, if you look at borrowings of CPCL, I'm coming to debt, but if you look at borrowings of CPCL, they were at 4,711 crore as of 36/15 against 5,399 crore as of 31/3/15, registering a decrease of 688 crore. So this has certainly helped the CPCL. Debt equity ratio as of 36/15 is 1.83 to 1. And with the infusion of this capital, certainly the position should improve much better.
All right, Mr. Ashok, we'll leave it at that. All the best for the quarters to come, and thanks for joining us. That's the word coming in from Chennai Petrol. A big gainer today, up about, in fact, it's a big gainer in the last 12 months. It's more than doubled. But we'll take a break on that note. Coming up on the other side.
What's been your, greatest moment? Recently, I played a game against Aronian in 2013, if I can say. And that game, at that point, was already, this was 2013.
Yes.
And many people said it's the game of the century. That was a game that you get a chance to play very rarely.
Catch more rare moments and insights from Vishy's career in just a bit. Stay tuned.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.